everybody. Welcome to Watch Me Go Broke. On my wrist today is going to be, of course, the Steeldive 1970 because I got a Steeldive here, so why not wear one? And here is today's watch. This is the Steeldive 1969. It is homaging the Omega Ploprof. Leave that up to interpretation of how you pronounce that, actually, but a watch by Omega from the 1960s, touted to be one of the ugliest watches in horology. I don't know. I kind of think it looks pretty cool. Now, I'm going to do this a little bit different today than I usually do. I'm going to tell you what I like and don't like at the time instead of saving it to the end. So as I go over each element of this watch, I'm going to tell you what I like and what I don't like. So you've got a 56 millimeter case, so quite a big boy. Lug to lug of 48 millimeters, a thickness of 16 millimeters. The lug width is 22. This particular shark mesh bracelet is not the one that comes with this watch. This is actually from Strap Code. I wanted to get it because it does have a little bit of a taper going down to a much more substantial clasp than comes with this particular watch. So it is an all 316L. Holy Moses. Holy Moses. Oh boy. Yep, and it just ruined my glove. Okay, well, that's a problem, ain't it? Oh, God. All right, so I ditched the gloves, as, you know, I probably should do. The only reason I wear gloves is because people don't, I don't know, some people got a thing with looking at people's hands close up. Mine are not in horrendous condition today, as they usually are in horrendous condition, so we'll just stick with that. So in all 316L stainless steel case, there is a chamfered edge that goes all the way around the case with high polish. This is purported to be a 1200 meter dive watch, so you would have this helium escape valve right here, which would release helium to keep the watch from exploding when you were decompressing. And zooming in on the dial of this NH35A powered watch, it is a matte black finished dial. It actually comes off gray in some certain lights, so it's actually pretty cool, to be honest with you. All printed indices today, so nothing applied. You've got the Steeldive logo just below the 12 o'clock markers, and just above the 6 o'clock marker is automatic 1200M/4000 feet. 1200 meter dive watch. Is it true? Is it not true? We'll probably never know. So the handset is your traditional Ploprof style hands, plunger, I guess, style hands, sword style hands, a larger orange minute hand, and of course that, very distinguished second hand with an orange tip. And the printed indices are filled with BGW9 Lume. I will show you the Lume in just a little bit, but it's very thickly applied. If I can kind of get an angle there. Well, not really. I guess you can't really see, but it is thickly applied. So nice depth there on those indices. Sapphire crystal today as well with anti-reflective coating that you can see there. It comes off a little bit blue. Steeldive's anti-reflective coating is really, really good. You're not going to have any legibility problems with this watch. The bezel is ceramic, and it is also lumed with BGW9. And it is a bi-directional bezel today, so it goes both ways. It is a 90-click bezel for some reason. To operate the bezel, you actually have to depress this very attractive little orange framed button here. So you just push it down, I guess, with your middle finger, whichever is more comfortable, and then you can turn it both ways, and releasing it, it locks into place. Now, with this particular bezel, it does not line up. I can't get it to line up correctly. It's either in line with the 12 o'clock marker or I can get it to line with the 30. So it's about half a click off, which is a little bit disappointing at this price. And the bezel action on this particular watch, it's a little plasticky. It kind of feels a little cheap. There is a good bit of wobble and quite a bit of back play when it is locked in place, and that might account for the misalignment there. But honestly, when you're doing a bi-directional bezel, it's got to be very difficult to get it to line up and act the way it should, as opposed to to a traditional unidirectional bezel. So that's really the first thing I don't like. The alignment is not good at this price. It's pretty inexcusable to not have that line up. And taking a look at the case back, it is a very, very beautiful case back. It's very, very well done. You've got all stainless steel automatic movement, NH35 dive, 1200M by Steeldive. They put by Steeldive there, I guess, to fill up all 360 degrees of that case back. It is a screw down case back. And so the second thing that I don't like, even though this case back is beautiful, this is very rough. It is very abrasive. It will leave a mark on your wrist. Very disappointed with that. I think they could have sanded that down a little bit. These edges of these little wrenches here, they kind of dig into you pretty good. If you wear this for a few days in a row, you are going to have some skin rubbed off, so that is quite disappointing at this price again. So let's get to the most interesting part of this watch, and that is this particular section here, the time setting position. So I'm not left-handed, so I have to do this right-handed. So I flip it around like this, and you just unscrew the crown. It is a screw-down crown. Obviously, you'd have to have that for 1,200 meters of water resistance. The pop, not really discernible, but it does pop out. And you'll notice that this little piece here, you know, it's kind of wobbly when you are setting the time. So winding the watch in the first position, no big deal. Setting the date in the second position, no big deal. But when you go to set the time, and it does hack, it's NH35, does hack hand wind, 21,600 vibrations per hour. So I'm going to set the time here, and this happens nearly every time, is that this little piece, this little crown guard here, it does have a tendency to do that. And that is the third thing. I think I'm in third thing that I don't like. This falls off. Now on their website, it does say, hey, that's just what it does. You know, it's just part of the design. So a little bit disappointing there. I think this is a piece that could possibly be lost depending on where you're setting the time. So make sure you're setting your, you know, the time over a surface that you're not going to lose this particular piece. But again, attaching the piece back, not a big deal. You just pop it back in there, and then you put it into the winding position, and you see it's already secure on there. So screwing the crown back, I usually like to go back a little bit and then go forward. Can't really do it with this watch, so I'm not sure about longevity as far as cross-threading goes. But it does wind back pretty easily there. You'll notice that the edges of that crown guard do not really match with the case. So there is a little lip there, yep, that you can see. So a little bit of refinement missing there on this crown guard design. So as I was mentioning earlier, this bracelet is not the bracelet that comes on this watch. The bracelet that does come on this watch, it is shark mesh, and it's really good. It doesn't taper. It's 22 all the way down to the clasp. And let me show you, I have the clasp that it came with. Now, some guys get a clasp that is just a folded or pressed metal clasp. Mine came with actually a milled clasp, which I think pretty much everybody was surprised with. Even in the photos of the watch, it didn't show a milled clasp, so I guess I kind of got lucky there. The clasp is pretty good. 3 micro adjustments on it, no big deal there. Oh, and I just realized that this is the wrong clasp. I did not grab the right one. The one that comes with the watch actually has a few more micro adjustments. That's how I was able to recognize it. But it is the same design, so sorry about that. I got it in a different part of the location I'm at, so I'm not going to go grab it. But the clasp is actually pretty good. I would check with Steeldive to see if you're getting a milled clasp or not. With this one, this is version 2 of this watch, so maybe they all come with a milled clasp. So I don't know really where you would wear this watch. I think this watch is something that if you're a big time watch guy, you would really enjoy the heritage of the Ploprof, or the Ploprof. Gosh, I can't even say it. You know, I don't really know where you would wear this. I wore it to the DMV and nobody said anything. But, you know, a layman out there, you know, the watch is so big. I think everybody would just assume that it's an Invicta. You know, it's just so big. You know, it just that kind of goes synonymous with Invicta. So I think you would probably have some folks mistaking this watch for an Invicta. I don't know. You know, it's you know, it is what it is. And here is the watch out in the wild on my I'm going to call it 7.5 inch wrist. You know, the lug to lug being only 48 millimeters, it does wear pretty good for the 56 millimeter case size. And I was a little worried about that because I don't like big watches, but this one actually wears really, really well. Nothing other than the case back digs into your wrist. So if they could just fix that abrasiveness of that case back, it would wear pretty comfortable. So I would say a guy with a 7-inch wrist would probably be okay with wearing this. And so all in all, it is a beautiful watch, and it's probably one of the best ones I've seen homaging that Omega there. You know, but it is what it is. You know, I think it's kind of an acquired taste. Let's check out the Lume. So the Lume is really, really good. It's not quite as good as my Steeldive 1970, but the Lume bezel, loomed indices with BGW9, it really is good. It's probably better than about 90% of the watches out there. So I think it kind of holds true with Steeldive's great Lume. So all in all, really no problems there. So would I recommend that you get this watch? I'm going to say in its current state, no. There's too much there that's annoying, especially at the price. I mean, this is going to be double the price of a normal, you know, Chinese dive watch that you would find. And of course, it's, you know, almost triple the price of the Steeldive 1970. So I think the price is possibly not there yet with how the refinement is, the abrasive case back, the little design flaw with the crown guard there, the crappy alignment on the bezel. You know, for the price, it really should be a lot better than it is. So I think in this version 2 current state, it appears to be better than what was on the version 1 of this watch. But yeah, they got to do more refinements. You know, I love Steeldive. I think they produce great watches at affordable prices. This is not one of them. And I really hate to say that. I'd like to see more refinement on it, but I think it's a great effort. It's a great stab at an iconic watch, and you know, really, if you're into you know, the Ploprof, this is probably one of the better homages of that. So if you like the look of the watch and you don't think it's ugly as hell, you know, you could probably pick it up. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's all I've got today. So let me know what you think in the comments. It is a good looking watch in my opinion, but you know, it's not to everybody's taste. So I will see you next time.